Thank God it's Friday, everyone. Welcome to the preview show. United are back at the Abbey to face maybe their sternest test yet at home with the visit of newly promoted Barnet. My name is Julian Roberts and I'm going to intro my guest in just a minute. His name is Matt Caspel. You'll all know him from this podcast. The reason he's not here right now is I'm recording this after the pod because in the excitement of us recording, we had the Vertu Round of 32 draw happening live. So we're going to drop in there as the draw is taking place, hear our reaction to the draw, which obviously we're thrilled about, and then dive into the Barnet preview. Enjoy.
That's big. We're getting some punditry reaction now to draw B of the Vertu Trophy Round of 32 draw. Who's the even potential pot? Should have loaded that up. It's like Bristol Rovers, Cardiff.
Oh my God. Is it really?
Yeah. The draws are fairly minging. Oh, I can't. You'll tell me off for typing if I do this.
But we have to be... mate, this is the most engaging content at the moment.
This is making it. This is coconut tier.
Here we go. It's happening.
Oh.
Bristol Rovers. Right, so this is our bit.
You are ahead of me.
Bristol Rovers. What number are we?
Cambridge. It's us.
No way.
Bristol Rovers away. Fucking kill me now.
Oh my God.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Well,
I mean, there was literally no good outcome anyway.
Bristol Rovers away. How many fans make that trip?
I mean, too many. But we've done it League Cup already this season.
That's what I mean. It's even worse. We've done it in the League Cup and the league.
So you could do a trio of Bristol Rovers visits.
A ground that we normally do pretty badly at, except in the League Cup, to be fair. We did win down there in the League Cup.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, that's huge, mate. I'm surprised the group chats aren't blowing up already, to be honest.
Yeah, it's 2:30 on a Thursday afternoon.
That's it.
I can't believe I've just sat through 10 minutes of that. Of which people will probably hear about 30 seconds, I reckon.
Well, literally, we engineered it so the pod would be at 2:30 so that we could do a live reaction to the Vertu draw so that we wouldn't even have press conference news. So we prioritised Vertu over actually having team news, injury news and everything.
Yeah, and I kind of can't help but feel like now that I look at this running order, we've sort of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit because there isn't a hell of a lot more to talk about.
Well, you just got to let the shockwaves of the Vertu just keep... We'll probably keep coming back to it. We'll be talking about Barnet, but then all roads just lead to that week commencing the 1st December clash in the Vertu.
It's an absolute thrill, isn't it?
I mean, a trip to Bristol Rovers preceding a trip to Stockport in 2 cup games.
Is it that same week?
It's the week we play Stockport. Yeah.
That is minging.
So that is, I mean, if you're one of our players now, I mean, why, I mean, without going too deep and serious on the Vertu, why they didn't just put their fucking foot down the home games. If we'd won by a 3-goal margin, they'd be at home. Really? That should have been imperative. I'd rather have lost the game. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like...
Well, this situation's you've kind of got a tricky tie away from home that you're not going to get through. Plus, the travelling is minging. Think about the miles they're doing there to most likely get binned out of 2 competitions.
Wow. God.
Well, that's good, isn't it? Shall we talk about a league match?
Yeah, go on then.
That's upcoming.
Just feels hard to concentrate on after that.
It is hard.
Why am I still watching this? Luton are playing Exeter. It's huge.
That's huge. So that's who we would have got if we'd have won the group.
Oh, is that right? Is that how it works?
I mean, that's always the thing, isn't it? No, is that how it works? No, I don't know. It's when you get knocked out and then whoever your ball number is in the next round, you know,
yeah. Like there's a whole like butterfly effect.
Obviously,
like you open like a really weird Pandora's box of opinions, usually on the message board, where someone will tell you that's not how it works.
Which right now we really don't have time to do.
No.
Look, we've got a league game to talk about, Caspel, and actually one that I think on paper I hadn't really considered. But Barnet at home, it's actually, I think it's maybe one of our toughest games yet. Taking maybe like Grimsby away out of it, probably Salford away out of it. But I'll give you a couple of numbers here to kick things off.
Yeah, cool.
The second best away team in the league. Ben did an article last night. He did this monthly little stat pack where he looks around the division and does these little updates on like who's doing well data wise, like things to look out for, how we compare to the rest of the league, and a lot of them are like XG, and obviously an XG against we do very well, XG for we do particularly badly. You should go and read that, by the way. Obviously, Coconut Tier members, but the the first bit of the article is expected points, which obviously takes your XG and your XG against. Barnet have the best in the whole division, and they got the second best XG, only just below Swindon. So they create a lot of chances. Um, I hadn't quite realised how tough this game was. Had you?
They must be shite at home.
I
Do you
think
know what I mean? They must be. What's going on?
it's the flip of us, really, isn't it?
Oh, you would take it all day. That away
Um,
form, 2 points on the road per game.
yeah.
It probably is, mate. When I was looking at this, have we played? They're going to be the highest ranked team we played at home, apart from Bromley. Bromley are ninth now. We
Oh,
haven't played
okay. Yeah.
anyone else in the top half of the table. Obviously, it's all moved around. So,
Yeah.
if you know what I
It,
mean,
interestingly, though, in a similar way, Bromley at home, Barnet at home. In without before I go and look at any numbers, I just consider it like, well, that's a game you should win because it's not a scary, imposing big side. Maybe I've still got a bit of League One hangover in me that I hear Barnet at home, and I don't mean any offence. It's just like, oh well, that should be 3 points. But actually, a lot of the numbers say they're arguably like growing into one of the better sides in the division. And pre-season, they're not the top 20 boys who, obviously, a lot of people listening to us will listen to them. They backed them as I think they backed them to go up. I think they put them in the top three and bounce up twice. They got 102 points in the conference last year. They're a good side, clearly. But do you think still, because of our home record, how not? I mean, how imperative is 3 points?
it's pretty important to the whole narrative, right? And I'm with you. I'm a bit nervous about this one because their away form is good. I guess there is a bit of a viewpoint. We haven't played many of the good teams at home yet. Barnet are obviously very mid-table, but they're one of the better away teams. And I don't know. I was just thinking about it earlier, and I've just got this weird feeling about how probably the rest of the calendar year goes. I think this could be the game where you realise that we're going to take like a bit of an ugly turn because the away form doesn't look like it's going to massively change. Good performance at Salford, good result. We'll take some positives from that. I just think the whole season right now is so reliant on this home form, and like we're so strong at home. But have we won any of these home games convincingly yet? I'm not really sure. Obviously, FA Cup aside. And when you're left with it, you're like, God, we're winning our home games and we're doing it well, but we're not like putting anyone away and making it comprehensive and making it comfortable. We're not winning any of our away games. You're like, the moment that home form starts to wobble, which Saturday is a really big test, suddenly, it sounds really dramatic. It's like we're one home defeat away from suddenly looking at the league table and we're like, oh shit, we'll be like 14th or 15th. And like, not lots of optimism around just all the fixtures. I mean, jokes aside, that Vertu draw is tough. Stockport is tough. As we spoke about last time we were on the pod, all the aways, apart from Barrow, which is still tough anyway, but like the aways look tough, and suddenly like thinking, God, we got relegated to League Two, and everyone was like, yeah, we're going to win some games. That'll be nice. Suddenly looking quite hard, isn't it?
I hadn't actually quite realised it like you until literally just doing that preview, which we'll hear in a second with the Barnet fan. But given like their strengths, and I mean, let's not exaggerate. They've got exactly the same record as us. They've got the same number of points as us at the moment. But I think a lot of the underlying stuff clearly indicates that they're probably upwardly mobile, whereas I think we're kind of teetering on the precipice a little bit. And totally agree with everything you just said. That like our home form has got to hold up. And it's the sort of game. It's the first. I repeat what I said earlier. I think it's the first genuine test at home. Bromley are the other option. They're ninth. They're the only team we've played in the top half at home. So that home form is brilliant, and you've got to win the games. And I'm not holding it against us in any way, but it is just a fact that we've played what 6 of our 7 home games against teams that are currently in the bottom half of the table, including 4 of the bottom 6 at home. It does just kind of all add up as like, well, this is the moment that the test really probably starts. I mean, even after this, we've got Crew who are 8th. So you're suddenly like starting to look at all the teams that were playing over this November December period, Barrow aside, which is crucial for both away form, but I think also general form because, as we're saying, this home form's got to hold up. If not, something's got to drastically change away from home. And you're absolutely right about Bristol Rovers in the Vertu, as we just heard. Stockport away. It might not be like competitions that I guess particularly matter to the season in a grand scheme of things, but there is momentum to think about, and it's an important thing in football. So it's a really interesting game for lots of reasons. Let's get this preview now from Barnet, and we'll come back and have a chat about how we think we should approach the game itself. Right then, delighted to be joined by Sam from the B Brief. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Thanks for having me on. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, nice to have you back in the Football League as well. It's been quite a few years coming, right?
It has. We were in the Football League for quite some time. But last season was just unbelievable. I mean, we got 102 points, scored so many goals, went on a 25 game unbeaten run. It was just the best season I've ever had following a football team. It was I can't speak enough about it. It was just amazing. The players, the connection we had with the players and the team and the management team, just as a club, we came close for a couple of seasons. We finished in the playoffs. When Brennan took over, we were going to get relegated. We were so bad. Harry Kuehl was our manager. We lost our first 7 games in the National League. He was just rubbish. And then Brennan took over, and ever since then, he's just a legend of the football club. What he's done is unbelievable. We finished in his first season after taking over Kuehl, we finished 18th. We just survived. That was the main aim. And then after that, we finished 5th, lost out in the playoffs. Then again, we finished 2nd. Chesterfield won the league. They were miles ahead of us, but we should have done better in that playoff season. But then both that night we lost to Solihull, and that night both him, Brennan, and Connor, the assistant manager, they went away famously that night. Went to Brennan's house. Connor was there for 3 days straight, and they planned next season out that night. And it shows how well they planned it because we ended up winning the league with 102 points. It's unbelievable. So yeah, it's great to now be back in the Football League.
Amazing. God, you've had a few sort of legendary footballer managers, haven't you? I remember playing you back with the season we got promoted at the conference when I think Edgar Davids was.
Yeah, Edgar Davids.
I don't know if it was he player coach at the time. I don't know.
He was player coach. That was a bit of a weird situation. I mean, I've only actually been following Barnet for the last 10 years.
Right.
I'm 25, but they obviously famously Barnet is now at the minute not in Barnet. But James, who I do the podcast with, he's my best mate, and he was always been a Barnet supporter. I've also a Spurs supporter at the same time. But when they moved to the Hive, it was actually 5 minutes from my house. So he was like, "Come along." It's great fun just following a non-league team. Well, at the time they were in the Football League, but we went. I went, and I've been hooked ever since. But I've been following Barnet for the last 10 years, and yeah, a lot. I mean, just been following them now. I've got season ticket. I go every single game. Obviously, do the podcast with James. So yeah, it's great. It's great to be back. But yeah, Edgar Davids was a weird one at the time. It was great because obviously I'm a Spurs fan. So like, it was weird. It was weird to see him play. But yeah, that was a bit of a mad time. But yeah, we're long gone from those days nowadays.
So what about from the team last year that obviously was so successful in the National League to this year's team? Have you managed to keep a lot of those players? And obviously, I know the manager's still there, but have you managed to keep like the core of what was so successful last year?
I would say so, yeah. In fact, the reason we started off so poorly at the start of the season is we were missing loads of the players that did play last season. We have had a big turnover in the squad. We've signed 17 players from the start, including Asombalonga now, who has now joined. But we signed 17 players, and a lot of them though are squad fillers, which was the issue. We kept basically the starting 11, but lost the rest of the squad. So we had to kind of rebuild the squad players, which is difficult because it was so hard to improve the starting 11 from last season. We have had a couple of players come in. Our goalie, Kieran Slicker, who's on loan, been unbelievable. Owen Evans, who was our goalie last season, number one. I mean, I'm sure people have saw, maybe they haven't, but the mistake he made on the first day of the season against Fleetwood.
Did see that.
He made that mistake and never got back into the side. Brennan is ruthless with his goalkeepers. I mean, he's dropped goalies over the last few years in big moments, and every single time he's got it right. So he's done another one with Slicker, and he's kept 5 clean sheets in 9 games since he's been here. So he's been a mainstay. Adam Senior, who we signed from Halifax, he's another one. I mean, fitted in like an absolute glove. Danny Collins, who plays centre back for us, he's been with us since the start of Brennan's time. The only one that's still here. And we expected him to go. His contract was up at the end of the season, and he was way too good. And we just thought he was going to leave, and it was just time for him to go. And he signed a new contract, which none of us were expecting. So we signed Senior, thinking we were going to lose Collins, and we actually kept Collins. So now Senior's come in, and he is as good. I mean, he's our top goal scorer this season from centre back.
Wow.
So he's been unbelievable. And then the other one that's really kind of out of the new signings that are coming is Namdi Offerboy in midfield. He was at Swindon last season. He had bit of a roller coaster of a journey so far. He was really highly rated at Bournemouth, signed for Rangers under Gerrard, had heart issues, so just kind of fell out of favour, and then ended up at Swindon last season. And yeah, he's been brilliant since coming in, so he's given himself the starting 11. But out of the 17 signings that we've made, realistically, only 3 of them have actually made themselves core into the starting 11 now. So it's mainly the same players that were here last season that is really pushing us on.
And obviously, you mentioned the manager a couple of times. I mean, he's good for a quote, isn't he? His post-match interviews are like, I only see him sometimes when they're getting shared around. Clearly you love him, but apart from that, what's his sort of style like? How does he like to play and set up?
I mean, we absolutely love Brennan. He came on our pod last week. We've got such a great relationship with him, and I don't know if it's. I say this whenever I come on the opposition's pod. It's like we're so fortunate at the club to have the relationship we have with the management team. Like we're able to speak to them all the time. They let us come in, let us watch training if we want to go watch training. Open door policy. Like we speak to them all the time. Like we are so fortunate to have them, and that's just how he's built the club up to where it is at the minute. In terms of the way he plays as well, it's great. I mean, he will never back down. He'll go and attack every single game, no matter who we're playing against. Obviously, in the last weekend, we played against MK Dons. We were 2-0 up, and we were unbelievable for 40 minutes. And then they just have so much quality that they managed to get themselves back into the game. But we don't step down. We go at it. I think from last week, it may have changed. I haven't looked at the stats, but we've created the most big chance in the league. Well, it was from last week. We've also missed the most big chance in the league, which is where the frustration is kind of coming from at the minute. If you look at our expected, I know all the stats are all a bit wishy-washy, and depending how you look into stats, but we're actually underperforming at the minute. Our expected points are I think it's at 25. Our expected points are, which is 4 less than what we're actually at the minute. So we're doing well. It's just our finishing is letting us down. But we're front-footed, we press, we play high, we play through the lines. We can do a bit of both. With Love up top at the minute, we can go direct into him. We've got overlapping centre backs, a bit similar to like Sheffield United, how Sheffield United used to play in the Premier League when they overlap with the centre backs. It's why Senior's kind of been our top goal scorer this season, because we get so far forward with it. So yeah, it's really exciting to watch every single week, which is another reason why we've kind of just the attendances have grown over the last 3 seasons, and that's all to do with Brennan.
Amazing. Well, what about this season then? Because I noticed just looking at the league table, and like we've got identical records at the moment. You've scored a few more goals than us. Your goal difference is 2 goals better, but we've won 6, drawn 4, and lost 5. What's the story been so far? I mean, I guess what are the expectations and how's it gone?
So the expectations, I'm renownedly quite optimistic and positive about the management team and how they play. And just how teams performed coming into League Two from the National League and riding the momentum of that and how well we did. I thought we could definitely push on and get into that playoffs. Like the National League, in terms of the top 10 games in the National League, are very similar to basically every game you play in League Two. So I felt like we could push on and definitely get into the playoffs. The first 2 games of the season were tough. We lost all 3. It was a bit of a wake-up call. We were missing our best centre-back in Nick Tavares, who we just missed the first 2 games of the season, and Liam Love, our striker. We were missing them 2, which was a massive, massive issue for us. Our pre-season was a bit disrupted as well because we had this qualifier for the Carabao Cup. So our pre-season kind of ended a week early because of all the Premier League teams in Europe. So we kind of had a bit of a weird pre-season. And I don't think, I mean, like I say, I had Brennan on the pod, and he even said it was their first ever season in the EFL. As a management group, and they took a lot of learnings from it. He said he got the recruitment wrong, not all of it wrong. We've had obviously some good players come in, but he learned a lot because in the National League you don't deal with windows. You can sign players whenever you want. So that was the registration. You can only register a certain amount of players. So I think he said that it kind of just got it slightly wrong, which he learned from. So the first 3 games was a bit difficult. Then we kind of got our players back, and we kind of went a bit more direct. Went away to Swindon and won. Went away to Cheltenham and won. And that week kind of changed everything. And from then we've been superb. The last couple of weeks have been frustrating because we've picked up 2 points from out of 9 our last 3 games. I honestly, we could have picked up 9 points out of those 3 games. It was we should have beaten Barrow. That how we didn't win that game, I don't know. They didn't have a shot in the second half and still they didn't have a shot on target in the second half and they still scored, which is so frustrating. It took a double deflection and went in. That was their only shot, and we just drew that game to all. MK Dons last week 2-0 up, flying. They just had so much quality in the end, but we could have won it at the end of the game. We had a goal disallowed in the 95th minute, probably a penalty we should have had in the 95th minute as well, and then Notts County as well. We were the better side, and then we create so many chances, but we've also missed the most amount of chances, and that is where we're just lacking that clinical edge at the minute, which is why we signed a Sombalonga, but he's got a broken nose at the minute, so I'm not sure he's going to be. I'm not sure he's going to be fit. His first game was actually in the Vertu against you guys.
I know, and he scored. It's funny because we were linked to him really heavily last summer, so that we kept a keen eye on him, and then saw him go to Barnet and score instantly, and it was like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But like with Saturday's game, for example, I mean, I noticed your last 3, no win in the last 3, but as you just said, obviously that reads worse than the performances. I also I'm on FOTMob here, and I just went on the away form table, chat of interest, and you're the second best away side in the division. We're one of the best home sides in the division.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting game because also, you know, I think our XG against is the best in the division, or one of the best, and obviously I think your XG is the best. So it's like a kind of culture clash type of thing.
It is.
How do you think you might approach it? Do you play 3-5 at the back? Is that your normal system?
So we normally play 3 at the back. We're very adaptable. We have been when we changed after the first 2 games. We actually went to like a midfield 4. We went to a back 4, and our wingers played really tucked in. So we kind of played like a diamond in midfield, but it was Carnu and Glover, our 2 wingers or wing backs, whatever you want to call them, and they basically played in midfield. So we have played 4 at the back this season, and we'll be very adaptable depending on, like when we played against Colchester at home, we must have switched formations about 7 times in that game. It was crazy. Like depending on what we went 2 up top, went 1 up top, went 3 at the back, played a box 4, went with wing backs. Like we're so adaptable in the way we can play. The issue we've got is we've probably only got about 14, 15 players that you really trust. We had it on the weekend against MK Dons. Is we were so good. We got to about 60 minutes. We've run out of energy. You can't then make subs. And it's like, you need something a bit more off the bench. And you don't really trust anybody that's going to come off the bench to really impact the game. We have Ollie Hawkins, who is great for the last 10 minutes, but you don't want him on the pitch any more than the last 10 minutes because he completely disrupts the game plan of what we want to do, because he can't press, he's not very mobile, but he's such a threat in the last 10 minutes when you just lump the ball forward to him. But with the Sombalonga being out, we just don't have that like-for-like sub at the minute, and we don't have, one of the massive things with our recruitment, we don't have any wing-backs really, that if you take Glover and Khan, if they're not playing well, there's no like-for-like replacements. The players we brought in just aren't good enough. So normally we'll start off with a back 3, end up going to a back 4 because we don't have the replacement at wing backs. So that's kind of where we'll be. I think we'll play a back 3. I mean, from the way that I imagine the game will go is I imagine we'll probably dominate the ball. We dominate the ball against most teams. It's just the way that we've always played. But we leave massive gaps. We go 1v1. We'll leave Tavares on our central centre-back. He will be left one-on-one with the halfway now against whoever you play up top. And our centre-backs will bomb on and we'll just leave him. That's just the way we play. So it's always an exciting game, really, when we play. It's very, very rare that there's not goals involved.
Brilliant. That sounds... Yeah, you've got me quite excited for the game, actually. What about then prediction? Final big question.
I feel like with the way that we've played in the last few weeks, the results haven't been what the performances deserve, and it feels like we're due a win just of the way we've played. But obviously it's going to be a tough game. I'd imagine there'll be goals, and I think it will. Obviously, as a Barnet fan, I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to go with a 3-2 win for Barnet. I can't see there not being goals. It's just the way the game opens up and the way we play. I think if you get the first goal will be key. If you guys get the first goal, I think you'll be able to hold on to that lead, and you're defensively really, really strong. So if you get that goal, we struggle sometimes to break teams down when we concede the first goal. So that will be a key. If we get the first goal and you guys have to come out a bit more and attack and space opens up for us, I think it will favour us. I think that first goal is, as always in any game, really, it's key. But yeah, goals with us. So I'll predict the 3-2 Barnet win.
Well, it sounds like a good game at the very least. Enjoy the trip if you're making it, and
I will
thanks a lot for joining.
Cheers, thank you so much.
Thanks very much there to the guys at the B Brief. Very interesting preview, I thought. They're obviously clearly on a high, Barnet. They're very excited to be back in the Football League. Just before we talk about the game, Caspel, let's do a little bit of reminiscing. Favourite memories of playing Barnet over the years? Any games that pop to mind?
I always laugh about these because home games just never even feature, do they?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Just never. It's so rare that happens.
Although I've got a Barnet at home that does feature in this.
How's that possible? I'm going to stick my neck out and say I can't remember a single scoreline that we've ever registered against Barnet at home.
I remember one game, for some reason, I don't think it had any impact on like the season or anything, but it was just after Christmas, and I couldn't tell you what year, but you could probably narrow it down by, pretty sure John Akinde scored for them. They went 1-0 up in the second half, and then I think definitely Barry Core scored one of them, might have scored both, and we won 2-1. They were both down at the NRE, and it was... What would that have been? 2017. I need Walker here for this because it's just not mine. You don't remember that at all? See, that one sticks in my head.
And for sure, I would have been there as well.
I'll find it for you now, mate. If you can fill in with some of your Barnet memories.
Well, just the away games, mate. But I don't remember them so good either.
Yeah, here you go. Look, I've got it straight away. 2015. Cambridge United scored twice in 90 seconds to beat Barnet and record a 5th win in 6 league games.
This is
the visitors took the lead when John Akinde kept his cool. Brilliant.
Well, doesn't he always?
Cambridge boss Sean Derry told BBC Radio Cambridgeshire football is about fine lines, fine margins. I'm not joking.
Oh, was that the game?
That was
the game.
Yeah,
that's the fine margins game. I mean, you've missed over the fact yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of Sean Derry being hired.
Oh my God, yeah,
that was pretty big.
And I think what was particularly depressing about that was your reply to that going, well, yeah, at least we're not still playing boring defensive mid-table football in League Two. Oh wait. I looked and we've got 2 more points now in League Two than we did at the moment he was sacked, I think. There is
just 10 years we've just gone full circle. We're 6 places higher in the table.
There is a genuine proper long read in the kind of the futility of the 10 years in between where we have gone to League One and I know some stuff's happened off the pitch and we've bought the training ground, etc. But fundamentally when you're a club like ours, you kind of just always end up
gone sideways, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
You're sideways,
you think you're making a step forward, but you just end up exactly where you were 10 years previously.
We scored a really big goal at Newcastle, but obviously Walker missed that. So arguably that's the only thing.
That's a shoe on, but I like it.
Yeah, just had to go. Yeah, it's been a while. Best memories of Barnet. I mean, obviously that 2-2, the Quezzy one, stands out. That will live long in the memory. That was just an all-round great away day. I don't know why we'd organised it as early as we had, but we said, right, we'll meet at the pub 10:30 in the morning. And it was one of those 10:30s that had sort of asterisk, could easily be 9:30. Yeah. I was going to wake up and leave the house, basically.
Yeah.
And then they moved the kickoff. I guess this was back in the Setanta days where it could be 10 days before the game and they moved it back to 5:30.
Yeah.
I was it was just no, 10:30. We said 10:30. We're going to stick with the plan, basically. Just zero reaction to the game sliding back.
Yeah.
That far. We got into the pub, just got a pint on. It's a Euston Flyer, I think. And obviously in that spot, that's where you're getting some of your northern away fans coming down to, London or heading through London. I think there were a load of Preston fans. Middlesbrough. Was it Preston?
Yeah.
And they were all oh, who are you playing? And we're yeah, Barnet. It's literally a 20-minute walk from that pub or whatever. Yeah. We're 5:30 kickoff. They were Jesus.
What?
Jesus Christ. They were you bunch of animals. That was a pretty good Barnet away.
We've not played them in a little while now. It's felt we
played them in the Vertu a few weeks ago, mate. Don't forget about that. It was absolutely goal fest.
Jesus Christ!
We were scoring set piece goals. Assombalonga scored.
Well, and as I just
United fans,
as I just learned, Assombalonga has got a broken nose, so we can't play on Saturday, which is simply huge news.
That's probably good for us though, because this is that storyline and how that plays out, if you know
100%.
He's only scored once for them so far, and that was against us already. So it's you just know how that goes. He scores no more goals this entire season.
Yeah.
But he would obviously score.
Obviously.
Played on Saturday, so...
Well, what about us then? Because, I mean, we haven't, as you said earlier, we haven't actually heard the presser, but I think from what we've heard, there's no new injuries, but I think Ball's definitely out. McLaughlin's obviously still out, as is Lavery, but Apare back, came on against Salford. Let's go. I think I've put 3 kind of key questions down here. One's actually fairly obvious, but first one, you sticking to 5 at the back or are you going to 4? The Barnet fella just there, he says they're really fluid, so they do play 5 sometimes, but they have played 4. They'll often start with 5 and then switch to 4. The one thing he kind of said there was that fitness is their biggest issue, or they don't have the players on the bench, the depth to like play the intensity that they do, so they often switch to 4 to try and keep up that attacking intensity by just adding an extra man. But that kind of sounds very flexible. What would you do with us?
I was just laughing at that. Harris is like the anti-fluid, isn't he? Yeah. What's the opposite? What's the opposite of
like glacial?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like, don't call us fluid. I think Harris kind of touched on it after Salford anyway. Maybe before and after Salford, he made these references to being willing to change the system to try and find sort of a better combination away from home. But he doesn't really like 3 at the back or 5 at the back or whatever we're calling it. So my strong assumption is he will revert back to what has been working for us at home. And I kind of support it, even though, I'm sort of borderline obsessed with this back 5, back 3, wing back setup. There is, it is a bit old school football. It's like it has been working very, very well at home. Don't change it. So I think he'll go 4-4-2. I think I sort of rate it as well. I think it makes sense. The only issue is personnel at the top of the pitch, right? It's going to assume that Apare is not really fit to start by the return to play protocols. And we often joke about Harris kind of mugging those off. But I think now what's happened with Lavery and being quite short-handed in that department, it would be particularly careless and would not look good for Harris if we rushed Apare into a start that he's not ready for. And it comes, the wheels come off and he gets injured again. So I think you're going with one of your favourites, sort of 9 3/4, 9.5, or whatever. I hope it's Kai. And he finds a way to make that work. I assume it would be Kai. I'm not sure I can countenance the idea of it being Kuchunga, basically. So, I think you go sort of to the back 4 you're expecting, which I think will be Gibbons, Perrington, Morrison, Watts, which is brutal on Job, who played pretty well. He was the highest rated player against Salford out of both sides. And he looked good as well, if you know what I mean. To be honest, I think you're trying to get as close to those recent home games as you can in terms of lineup. So vamping now whilst I figure out who the hell else we got left.
To be honest, I think you're right. I think the big thing for me is I'd definitely agree with 4 at the back. I'd probably call it more of like a 4-2-3-1 in my head because it's got to be Kai for me, and I'm not sure. I don't think you can. I'm not sure if 4-4-2 is actually the right thing to do against this lot. I think they really are like a good attacking side, and I know we're like a solid defensive side. I think it's actually quite an interesting like clash of cultures or philosophies this game. But on that, I think the crucial thing, whether it's Kai or Catch even or Apare, is that I think Brophy and Mayer, for their defensive kind of abilities, is crucial either side. So they're like, for me, my kind of 2 locks. I guess Brophy playing on the right. Gibbons, I would probably agree with for that same reason and try and sort of be solid in those departments. Centre mid is the other question I've got written down, but we just don't really have the options, do we?
It's Corey Smith and then Panzu.
It doesn't feel like the game to try the Brophy experiment. I know it's been tried before, but
I don't think it will happen. I don't think it's ever going to be tried.
Not under Harris,
in this regime, if that makes sense. We can listen to Walker banging on about George Hoddle again, probably for a while. That's likely outcome from Saturday on the bingo card. Our hands are a little bit tied, I think. I see it as pretty unlikely he will not stick with Mpanzu and Smith, basically. I agree with you, Brophy and Mayer. It sort of picks itself, this team. I almost think it's just a bit brute when describing a team that picks itself and it doesn't include Mamadou Job is is a bit of a, it's just a bit wild, isn't it? But
I kind of feel like that's the only question mark, though. Like, I think as soon as you've decided you're playing 4, it picks itself. As soon as you decide you're playing 5, it kind of picks itself as well in a different sort of way.
yeah.
But yeah, it's what's your prediction? Because I'm actually finding this one really tough to call. I've got a sneaking suspicion I know what yours is.
Interesting. So this is my new thing on the previews now. I commit and I do my moose net in real time. My real time moose net, because I'm good like that. I had a number in my head. It's not what I have in my moose net, which is interesting. I've been flying up this moose net table. I had a horrific start. I'm starting to figure out that we're actually quite shit. I think we'll lose 1-0, maybe 2-0.
I thought you might say that. I think it would be. I do think there'll be more goals in it than that. I had 1-1 when I just opened my moose net from whenever I last did it, and Apare to score. So who knows when I did that. I'm actually going to be a bit bold, and I'm going to just go with the other narrative that I think of these two philosophies. I'm really hoping that defensively we will be too strong for them and we'll score first on the break, and it will really open the game out because they'll come at us. I'm going to go 3-1 United.
Jesus Christ.
Tell you what, though, if we went 3-1, given everything we've said in this pod,
3-1, 3 home goals,
3 home goals,
3 goals. If we scored 3 goals,
Crawley.
When have we scored 3 under Harris?
Crawley the other week. Crawley the other week.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. yeah. Okay.
So I've just got a feeling that Barnet. I'm hoping that the way they play kind of plays into our hands. But again, Sam said it on the preview, and it's actually the main caveat is that we have to score first for that to happen. I think them scoring first is game over for us. But then I do think might be more than 2 even.
Mate, if you're right, I'll buy you a skepasti at the Old Spring.
Brilliant.
How about that?
Brilliant.
Will you do it on buying people's capacities?
You'll do it on a Matchday Meal Deal, or will you get 10% off any time?
I might deliberately buy you full price just to really seal it in. Yeah.
But obviously, you know what we can do on Saturday after a 3-1 win is go and enjoy the happy hour at the Old Spring 6 till 7 and get some half-price beers. Anyone listening obviously should take advantage of that. Down by One Ferry Path, CB4 1HB, our wonderful sponsors. I think that's a wrap for this podcast, Paul. If you're not a Coconut Team member, you should go and read Ben's stats article.
That's quite sobering as well.
Yeah.
We have no players in the top 20 of basically anything.
Of anything.
The
way he does it, I mean, you'll see people will have read it, but like he'll do the leagues like top 20 of whatever it is, and then Cambridge United, and every single time it's like, we're not in the top 20 of this. We're not we've got no one in the top 20 of this.
Mate, we're top of that set piece goals though.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, we are.
I'm not even sure that includes the Vertu, but we banged 2 against Barnet in the Vertu.
If you can go 2 minutes about mentioning the Vertu, then we get to the end of this pod.
Half this pod is Vertu. Done a lot of heavy lifting.
Been a pleasure to chat, mate, and I'll see you soon.